with Windsor House, and you work for a short period of time, maybe about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, as what's called an environmental nurse aide. So you're kind of in the building, you're doing duties, but you're not doing those direct care duties of the nurse aide job because you're not allowed until you're certified. So you're passing ice, you're helping change beds, you're able to actually if somebody's in a wheelchair, you're able to assist them to maybe the dining room or the activity room, you're able to do those types of things. You just can't do resident care, you can't lift residents, you can't do that type of thing until you're certified. So we have you work temporarily in that position. It gives you an introduction to the job, allows you to see the atmosphere of the building, how things run, the pace of the building. And then we put you through the same nurse aide training class, and we waive that $500 fee because you're an employee of Windsor House, so you don't have to pay that $500. But then, of course, we do expect you, once you're certified, to stay on as a nurse aide with Windsor House. So, and then again, within 4 months of when you've passed the test, you have to actually take the state test, which the state provides for you. And then you're fully tested as a state tested nurse aide, and as long as you continue working, your certification is up. So it's a good job to get into if you're interested in a healthcare career, because again, there's always work in healthcare. We always need state tested nurse aides somewhere, so there's going to be a job for you if you're willing to work and if you like the job. Windsor House, typically for our state tested nurse aides, schedules 8-hour shifts, and you're assigned to a shift, whether it's days, afternoon, or midnights. We don't mandate that you stay 12 hours. We don't, unless it's an extreme emergency. I mean, if there's an emergency situation going on, we may have to make people stay until that emergency's over. But some nursing homes or we do have to keep state minimum staffing levels required by the state of Ohio. That says, we have to have a certain amount of STNAs per a resident total, which is called our census, or we have to have a certain amount of nurses or RNs and LPNs. However, we always staff above that minimum, so in case there is a call off, then we still have at least minimum staffing for the state or more. We staff at least several people above what the state says is required as the minimum, just so we can provide that better care and our staff can do a better job. So that's basically the STNA training program. For Windsor House, we run this every month out of our training center in Liberty, and then we have other locations in Trumbull and Mahoning County that we run it like every other month. So if it's a program you're interested in, I'll leave some brochures. You're welcome to look it up and call us anytime. Because like I said, we do them at least once a month. And next month, too, like I said, next year we're trying to incorporate those evening classes for some people. Maybe if you have another job, or if you're coming to some sort of classes during the day and you need those evening hours. We hire full-time and part-time, so if you just wanted a position part-time, if you're in school, or even if you're not in school and you just want a part-time position, we usually require at least 1 day per week to work. That's what we expect as a part-time staff member, but we can give you 2-3 days a week, if you're able to work that, or of course more, as full-time staff members. So do you guys have any questions about working for either Windsor House or as a nurse aide, or any general healthcare questions?
I do a little bit.
Sure.
I actually at one time was considering some sort of position in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that it's hard to find clients, because sometimes when you have a client and they pass away, then it's hard to find another one, so it's hard to find work.
Okay. Well, you might be looking to more like at a home health type thing, where you're going just to that person's home and taking care of one individual. So sometimes that is a little bit more challenging if you're doing like a private duty. It sounds like you're describing like a private duty care where you're just taking care of that one person and doing whatever they need. Those sometimes are a little bit more challenging to find. Because there's also a lot of home health agencies out there, because Windsor House does own a home health branch as well, that are funded that way, that, a lot of those people who need home health go to those agencies first, maybe before a private person. So more of that private care where you're doing it on your own, yes, it might be a little bit more challenging to find clients or residents that way. If that's the route you're going, my recommendation is, after you've worked for that person for a little while, maybe ask them or their family members for a recommendation or like a recommendation letter, so you have it in case that person would pass away or in case that person no longer needs your services. You have those recommendations already where you can then go out and market yourself or find another client. In a nursing home setting, like we work, there's always a need for a nurse aide. It might not always be the exact shift you want at the time. We usually hire people into afternoons or midnights because those are the shifts we need the most. But then you can, if you need more of a day shift, we put you on a day shift. What you're talking about too, the private duty, sometimes those are shorter hours if you're working in a home health environment. So if that's what you need, because sometimes you're just going into that person's home for 2 hours at a time, or maybe 3, a couple hours at a time, or you're going back or you're working different hours. But a lot of ours, if you're working through like a home health agency, a lot of them do require you to be an STNA. Like for our home health, we do require people to be STNAs. That way, if you do need to help someone onto a toilet or you do need to help give them a bath, you have that certification, and our company has that. But so.
Thank you.
Well, ladies, have any other questions? Okay, well, I'll leave these with you. And if you're interested, you can certainly call our training center and talk to them, or you can call us in HR and talk to me or anybody in human resources. And I'll leave a few more for you guys too if you need them for anyone else. Or if you decide you don't want it and you want to pass it along to a friend, by all means, pass that along to them. So I also have some pens for you because I know you always need to write stuff down when you're in school. Well, yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask you guys if you had questions.
Yes, I do. I have several, and I think these are the ones that they're going to ask after you leave.
Okay, that's fine. It happens all the time. I do that too.
When we have our discussion.
Or you think about it when they leave.
Okay. Sure. How many sites are there for the Windsor House?
Windsor House, and we just opened in the new location, so we have 17 locations because we have 10 skilled nursing facilities and then 7 assisted living.
Okay, and you're all in this particular area?
Primarily,
Trumbull,
yeah, primarily Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana County is the bulk of our locations. We have one over near Barberton, and then we have one north in Geauga County in Burton, and then we have one in Pennsylvania. It's over near the Clarion area. But the other ones are all in this Tri-County area.
Okay. Another question. You mentioned the cost, and it would be wavered, or if they did certain things to be within your facility. Once they're state tested and of course have been approved and passed, and they continue to work and decide this is where I want to be. So is there assistance or any type of assistance is the only word I can think of, that will allow them to continue their education, to move into the colleges?
That is a good question that I did not answer, so thank you for asking that. We do offer tuition assistance right now. It's just for nursing programs, LPN and RN programs. We have been talking with the president of our company. They have a scholarship fund that's established for people going into an RN program. But we also do tuition assistance, to where if somebody's going into an LPN or RN program, we could assist them with, with tuition for that. We've also asked them to help, maybe open it up to different types of career. Like if someone is more interested in the administrative side, like a medical records type, or administrative, an office administrative related to medical. Or maybe a social worker or a dietitian in the dietary. We've also we're trying to get our president of our company with that tuition assistance to say, hey, can we open this up a little bit? But we do offer it right now for LPN and RN programs. And as long as they're accredited, you're eligible to apply for that.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have 2 more.
No, that's fine. Because I probably forgot to say a few things, so what you're asking.
Okay, no, you didn't. This is just,
yeah.
I just know these young ladies, and when we leave, we'll have a conversation, and then it'll be like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, as far as their commitment, for an example, if they should decide to come and seek employment with Windsor House, and if they are accepted, and they attend the classes and they pass, blah, 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 what is their commitment if you are paying for them to do this, take the state test?
We don't make you sign anything formal, honestly. We ask that you stay with us at least 9 months to a year. That's going to then kind of pay back or get us the accreditation. For example, if someone does pay for the class, it's a $500 fee. There's an additional $100 for that state test, so it's $600 total. If someone pays for it that way and then gets a job with Windsor House right after their class, we reimburse them that $600 over the course of 9 months to a year. So if you're talking about someone who's taking the class and getting it in our free program, 9 months to a year is kind of average as we look at it, because that's what we pay back the students who actually pay for the class. So, but again, we don't make you sign anything. We just want you to give us back the training that we've provided for you, you know.
Exactly.
So.
Okay. My last question, and I think this is the one that most of them are going to have a question about.
Absolutely.
Hourly rate.
Hourly rate. Once you're certified, and again, this is going to vary a little bit, even in our company, but the base hourly